Good morning, fellow crafters and stampers. How are you today? TGIF, it's Friday, and it's Nemi Batstone here coming to you from my crafting studio in Cooks Creek, Manitoba, 20 minutes northeast of Winnipeg. So if you're there, say hello, give me an emoji, share, like, comment. I just like to always know who's there. Oh, that's so loud. Sorry. Gotta make sure that I'm hooked up and ready. So thank you for joining me or catching my replay. It is Friday, TGIF. What are you up to this weekend? What's gonna be happening? And again, I'm like crooked. I just can't seem to get that right. Why is that the case, right? Let's see. Good morning, Shell. Thanks for joining me. Oh, that's so weird because your comment just popped up. Or is that from something else? Let me just double check here. I'm gonna just go home for a second here. See if I can get this working. Okay. Nope, I don't see comments yet. Okay, so anyway, so if someone is there, just, either do a thumbs up or say hello, so then that way I can see if my comments are working, and if not, then I'll just pop by after and make sure I say hello. Okay, I don't know, I think it goes that way. So weird. Let me just double check. It just bothers me. Good morning, Christine. Thank you for commenting and thank you for joining me. Now they're popping up. So there must be some kind of huge delay or something. I'm the only one here, so I don't know why I have Wi-Fi issues. Oh, good morning, Patty. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me. Okay, so this week we've been focusing on the Easter Joy Suite and playing with the Easter Basket Bundle, which is currently still good, I believe, but the DSP is now on low inventory. And so Monday we've created a GDP. Tuesday we did some fun technique with this one. And then Wednesday we cased an artist and designer. And then Thursday we threw in some retired product and turned it into a birthday card versus an Easter card. Okay, and today is Fun Friday. So today, you know what? I'm going to put the link. Today I am casing a project that we worked on yesterday. So yesterday was our team gathering, and we created this double pop-up card that I've been wanting to do and haven't had time to do because we've just been busy. So let me add that into the comments here. And that way, if you want to create it and you want the measurements and everything, I'll go over it. But Lisa Curcio does quite a detail of it, and I pre-cut my stuff. So she actually walks through it all. It's called a double pop-up card. And you know what? I forgot to take photos of them yesterday. So what we did was we had, where is mine? So we had everybody... I'm just looking for my samples. Why can't I find my samples? Yesterday we had everybody do a different, so we did the same design, but we paired up and used different stamp sets. So one group used homemade, I was one of the group members, and we did homemade sweetness. And then another group did Cutest Crew, and then another group did the new product of the month, Notes of Spring. But I forgot to take photos. So if you were at the meeting and you have one, please add the photo. So this was the template I took from, this is my first one, which I made, which is pretty much identical to what Lisa Curcio made. And so I copied her so that I understood how it works. And I made some boo-boos, so I made sure that everybody knew my boo-boos. So it's a double front fold, so you can see here it doubles up. So you have 2 instead of 1. And then yesterday night, this is the one I made with everyone. So again, I just used You're the Sweetest, and then we did some fussy cutting on this one and put that there. And so this one was more in the Strawberry Slush patterns, whereas this one is in the Misty Moonlight. So kind of like a more masculine versus feminine. And they just literally pops up like so. And then we cut everything out from the inside. Now I could add more stuff to this, like the bow and everything, but yesterday, like, we only meet for like 2.5 hours. So everybody is welcome to come, because we always do a make and take. We share projects we're working on. We have snacks, coffee, pop, whichever. So it's a lot of fun. So let's make another one. And this time I'm going to use the Easter Joy, or the Easter basket and Easter Joy paper. So let's start. I've got all my pieces cut, and I probably should have cut them with you. So first you need a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, and you're just gonna fold that in half. So I am using basic white. I strongly recommend you use basic white versus thick. And you know me, I usually use thick, because by the time you add all your layers, this thing is super thick and heavy. So if you used, like this one, I used thick, and it's heavier and a lot like thicker than this one, which I use basic white. So this one might fit in a regular slot, whereas this one will probably, because I use thick, will probably go into oversized. But not a big deal if you're handing it in person. Okay, so this is our base. Now we need a front, so we're going to work on the front first. So I'm just going to put my pieces there. And in the Easter Joy, there's a sheet that has 6 4x6s. And so this is my scrap piece here. So I'm going to take this middle one, I think. I was trying to decide which one to take. So we're going to cut this one off. And then I can save this for another card, or for my scrapbook. So I'm going to cut that off. I already trimmed this because I used the back side. So that's fine. So now we're down to a 4x6. But we all know a card front is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's not going to work. So I need this to be 5 1/4 because I'm at 4. So I can easily go here and cut this off, but I don't want that because I want to keep those clouds. So I'm going to trim a little bit. So maybe I'm going to trim about a 1/4 inch. So then I still have my cloud up top. And then now I still need 5 1/4. So I'm going to trim the bottom. And I prefer to lose grass versus cloud. So we're going to trim this on the bottom. So now I'm at the right size to layer on the front of my card. Sometimes you have to trim a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch off of each side. But because these are 4 inches, we should be good. Oh, that one folded funny. So we'll flip it. There we go. So that's my layer. Now I can add in another layer in there to make it pop on the white, which I think I will. I'm trying to decide. Yeah, maybe let's do it. So let's pull in. Let's see if I have Timid Tiger cut up already. Something different. So let's pull in that orange. Now, your front will be a lot different than your back, so don't worry about that. Or the inside, I should say. Let's see. Okay, I'm good. I got a scrap here. Okay, so we're going to go, instead of 5 1/2, we're going to go 1/8 inch smaller. So that's 2 tick marks from the 5 1/2. And that'll get us there. And then we're 4 1/4, so we're going 2 tick marks less, so 4 1/8. And that should get us there. So let's just double check. So that'll bring out the orange in there, and that gives us that little 1/8 inch border. And then on the white, because this is kind of a glossy white, that'll make our picture, our background pop more. Yes, that's better. Okay, I like that. I like it lots. Okay, so let's just glue this down so we don't have to worry about it. My corner is a little wrinkled there, so I'm just gonna fix it. And we'll glue this. So we can easily turn this into a fun birthday or any occasion, whatever we want, right? Or you could leave it as an Easter card. I haven't decided yet what to do with it because I don't often, like, do you send Easter cards? I don't usually send Easter cards. And who would you send an Easter card to? Anyway, I don't have anyone to send one to. Maybe if I had, like, you know, a friend that moved away, doesn't have any family or anything nearby, then that would be a good option to send them some, you know, thinking of you this Easter kind of thing. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so then I die cutted a bunch of pieces to save us some time because I was like, what do I want to put on the front? And there's already a barrel with carrots and our ducky. So we can add different things now because it's kind of piled in different ways. So we could add different things here if we wanted to. So let's say this bunny was pulling the wagon maybe, and then, or the wheelbarrow, I should say, kind of thing. Then you could add, you have flowers there, so we could add a second bunny maybe down here. We have one duck there. I'm just guessing. This is not anything planned per se. It's just, what can I do? Or what do we want to do? And maybe that bunny is too much. And we just need the little bunny and a duck or something. Or sorry, chick. I mean, just another idea. Just throwing this all out there. Doesn't have to be exact. We could put that there and add more flowers. I think that's a little too much already, especially if we have this bunny up there. Okay, let's do that. This looks okay, I think. Okay, so let's grab some, and all these would just become extra and be used for another card. Like, I could technically, he could also be carrying another, carrying a carrot. So then we have more carrots. I don't know, just an idea. Let's see. It's always so hard to figure out how to get them to hold it. Actually, you could create slits so that carrot could slide through, but through the hand. Or this guy. This guy's probably the better one to be carrying a carrot. And again, you could put, we could cut the paper so it looks like it's cutting through. But he does seem like he's the better one to be holding the carrot, holding a carrot, than any of the other ones. So, and he's kind of up there with the carrots. Okay, maybe. If you have an opinion, feel free to share because we got lots of coloring to do. If you're like, no, that's too busy, Nanny. Okay, fine. So, always options. Okay, so I had to pack all my blends yesterday. I have a traveling case that all my blends sit in. So it's not a big deal. Oh, they're plowing. Impressive. And tonight is Meet Bingo fundraiser. So super excited about that. Be going to Dugald for that. So I'm just looking at the colors here. So lemon lolly. So I'm going to grab lemon lolly. And then crumb cake. So we don't really have a crumb cake. So we'll go with a lighter shade. And one of the, what do you call it? One of the shades of brown. And let's see which one, this one. I always forget their color combo. Let's see, that one's way too light. So that is SU 800, way too light. So let's try 5. I think it's more like 5. Oh yeah, there we go. 6 might even be a little lighter. Let's see. Oh, 6 is kind of more like in the pecan kind of weird brown, but we can take that too. And then for flowers, we've got Balmy Blue, Shy Shamrock. I don't know if I have Shy Shamrock. That would be in the, I have Cloud Cover Peach, or would that be in the greens? Do I have it? I thought I did. I have Shaded Spruce, Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon. I thought I had Shy Shamrock, but it doesn't look like I thought I did. So, Okily dokily, because usually I have all the in colors, and I can't see it right now, but that's no biggie. And we'll steal some Balmy Blue, and then we could use a yellow flower. Do I have enough, or is there pink? Oh, there's pink, so let's do Pretty in Pink. I know I saw that. I have that too. So there we go. There's that. Oh, Daffodil Delight's in the wrong spot. No wonder I'm confused. I'm like, why is Lemon Lolly not there? No, that's Darling Duckling. We don't want that one. That one's kind of too light. Okay, let's start with this. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me? Me and my yappy yapness. Okay, my processing. It's going to be boring on the duck. Oh, I forgot to pull out Timid Tiger to color the nose. Or the beak. It's not a nose, it's a beak. Okay. Now, sometimes when pieces are this small, you can actually stick them to Post-it notes or to removable tape so that way you can get around it and your fingers aren't in the way. And then we'll do a yellow flower because we can. There we go. And then I'm going to color this one. Well, maybe this one. We'll do a brown bunny. Which one was the lighter one? Oh, wasn't it 6? I think it was 6 is the color I wanted. Let's see here. No, it's this one. Okay, so then we'll just add some shading. I'm not going to color the whole bunny in. I'm just going to do some shading around. Let's just do some outlining so we know. Okay. So what's everyone up to this weekend? I hope you're going to get some crafting done. I know there is another retreat, or crop, I should say, and with Scrap Chicks here locally. And unfortunately, can't go to it because, you know, doing 2 crops in one weekend back to back is just too much. At least for my family. Good morning, Kathy. Thanks for joining. Now, I didn't do the tail because I'm going to put, it's white. I want the tail to be poofy white. And so we'll just fill that with, what do you call it? Winkastella. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know where my Shy Shamrock blends are. I lost my ink. So, oh, maybe it's over here. Oh, there they are. I found it. Yay! The blends, that is. Been missing missing the ink, but I got another solution. So last month's paper pumpkin was the Easter. So it worked out great because inside there's a refill, or there's an ink spot, and it is Shy Shamrock. So now I have my Shy Shamrock ink. Yes. So happy about that. Then I'll just buy an ink refill because Shy Shamrock is actually an ink color. It's not one of our basic colors. So then as it retires, I don't need to worry because I've got my mini. And I'm going to take this one. What's this one? 600, SU600, and color the inside like that. And then I think this bunny will keep white. And then we should be good. Oh, I need Timid Tiger. I need an orange. We need an orange. So that is an in color. So it'll be in my in color pile. And color the carrot. Oh, I didn't really cut that properly either. So we'll fix that. So I'm super excited too because next weekend is the launch of our Mega Stamp Camp for Homemade Sweetness. I'm surprised, and Rhonda's Wade, she's like my mentor, and she's actually doing it as part of her card club. And then I also noticed a couple other demonstrators who are doing a whole retreat, a sweet retreat, I think is what they called it, with the homemade sweetness. So it's like, holy crap, everybody's using it, which is fantastic, by the way. But I just want to make sure we don't run out. So you can still order it even though it won't get to you on time for this weekend. But it definitely, and it's in the link up top, but it's there for you for the longest time, forever, until Facebook kicks you out. But that's not going to happen because what we did was we recorded all our videos on YouTube. And then we're giving you the links so you can refer to it at any point in time. A year from now, 2 years from now, wherever you're going, and just bring it with you wherever. Okay, so I added some ink Castella on those ones. Okay, so let's just glue these down. So I'm probably going to glue most of these. In fact, I'm going to use mini glue dots on this one because I can't be bothered to get my hand covered in glue. As you all know, that is what happens. Dun, dun, dun. Two, and I'm going to put a third one on the bottom, down here somewhere. Okay, and then that's going to go here. And then we have our grass. So this one I'll probably need my fine tip glue, and I'll just put a little strip along the bottom. Oh, that was a glob. Not a good thing. But let's hope it works. Oh, where's my silicone mat? Oh, it's way up there. I'll just remove some of that glue, and then we'll add that here. Okay, and then this bunny I'll Pop-Tart. So let's get my minis. Oh, sorry, I'm like, oh, because yesterday we had team meeting, so I have, like, my stuff is still packed. So, because I brought my supplies, and I'm like, oh, they're still in the case. So luckily, I unpacked, but haven't, like, I took everything out of my carrying cases, but then I forgot to put them. I didn't exactly put them away. Okay, and then I think we said we'd add some real grass over here, so I'm just going to trim this. Maybe like so on that side. Maybe not make it look so trimmy. And then add some adhesive here. Just a wee bit. Don't need much. And then that will be there. And then maybe I'll put the other duck here instead. Chick. I keep calling it a duck. Why do I keep calling it a duck? It's not a duck. So yesterday was day 1 of on stage as well. So if you follow any other demonstrators online, you know, other than me, like me is your priority, of course, then they are probably, and they are attending it, they are probably posting some really good sneak peeks of what's coming up. I've been going through, and with my team, we've been sharing photos we find of what is being released in the new catalog. Because in May, the new catalog, it gets released. And so what happens at On Stage is everybody gets goodies to take home that is new product coming out. And they get, you know, a fancy swag bag, they get spoiled. So one day, someday, I'll be, you know, able to attend. And hopefully maybe that's next year. Just depends where they host it. I really wish they would host it, like host one in Canada. Because that would be amazing. But, you know, where in Canada can you hold 2,000 to 3,000 people? Because that's how many are at literally the North American crop, or the North America On Stage. There's like 3,000, just over 2,000 people in attendance. Like, can you imagine what that room, the vibe in that room is, and how do you even find each other? So, like, I've done an event for 400, 450, and that's it. And I still can't find everybody. Okay, so I think I need a mini underneath the tail of or the top of that carrot. So we'll stick one underneath there. And then plop that there. Oakley dokley. What you think? That looks good. I think that looks good. Now, we don't have a sentiment, but that's okay. I think it's too busy to add one. Let me move these out of the way. Put those away later. And then these are all my other bits. So now we just need to do the inside. Ooh, the tricky stuff. The fun stuff of building. Okay, so how do we get the inside? So first we're going to decorate the top piece. So I cut a piece of designer series paper that is 4 inches. So this one that has to be 4 inches by 4 and a half, I think. Let me double check my measurements. It is, oh, sorry, I lied. 4 inches by 4 1/4, and that's going to sit there. So there's this big gap here at the bottom, and that's okay because that's where we're going to put our cube. So we have 2 cubes that go in here, and you'll see that that just touches the bottom. So we want to make sure that that room is there. I found it a lot easier to do my panels first, and you'll see when in the video with Lisa, she glues all her cubes and everything in place, and then she puts her DSP, and that's kind of hard because you can't really bend this card backwards all the way. It starts to fall apart. So I found it easier to just glue mine immediately. So I'm gonna grab my Seal Plus and let's build our pieces, and then we'll do our cubes. Okay, that makes this a fun fold. Oh yeah, I'm doing the right side. Okay, so this is gonna be an Easter card. I guess it's now gonna be an Easter card. So we got all our Easter eggs here. And then I'm just making it even along the 3 sides. The bottom I don't care about much. Okay, so that's one. Let's get all of these critters out of the way. It's garbage. And then we have another panel. And this is our second panel. That's this middle one here. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this. So this is, I'm using the back side of the Easter eggs to make it, to just break up all that pattern. And we're going to put that along the top. Okay. Again, I find it easier to work this way than once the card is assembled. So I'm just going to make sure it's lined up. So again, this is 4 1/4 wide because we wanted the width of the card. And then I believe it is, let me double check here. Yeah, 2 3/4. So our 2 3/4 height, whereas this one was 4 1/2. Now we're 2 3/4. Anyway, all her measurements are there. And then this one falls on all around. We're just 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this one's 2 1/2, and this DSP is 2 1/4. Everything's 4 1/4 inches wide. Like that's the easy part because we want it the same width, and that's good. So we have 4 1/2, 2 3/4, and 2 1/4. So those are our tiers. Now we need to do our cubes. So this is 4 1/2 by 4 1/4. And all I did was score it at 1 inch increments. So 1, 1, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you end up with 1/2 inch. And that 1/2 inch is where we're going to apply our adhesive to make it into a cube. And again, it's 4 1/4 inches wide because we want it the same width as our card. So don't worry about that measurement. Everything is always 4 1/4. It's your heights that you gotta pay attention to. Okay, so we're gonna add adhesive on that 1/2 inch. And then just fold over. And instantly you have your cube. See? Now if you're using liquid, make sure you just let that sit for a bit. And if you want, you can even take a block and put it on top. So then, or 2 blocks, maybe something heavier just to make sure that glue sets. And then you have that. But because I'm using Seal Plus, I don't have to do that. Okay? It's just because it's liquid glue and you want it to dry and you don't want it to move. So again, we're just burnishing those ends to give it that nice crispness and make sure we're perfectly square. Okay, so we're gonna fold over because it's a cube, and we're just gonna add our adhesive along that line. And ta-da, we have another cube. And you could even make sure that's burnished real well. There. So now we got 2 cubes, 2 pillars, which is your standard pillar for majority of pop-up cards. So you make this, you're good. So technically, you know, you could just stop here and then write your sentiment and your card's done. You know, like that's your basic card. But we're gonna put in our make it a double. So we're gonna do a single first, and then we're gonna turn it into a double. So this sits here and goes like so. So we need adhesive. So I'm gonna do adhesive here first on this back. Just because I don't trust myself. You could use, usually I use liquid glue because then that gives me a little more time to adjust. So you want to push that right into the crease there, and you want to make sure you're lined up on either side because it's 4 1/4. It's completely even. Yesterday I put glue on the wrong side, so that's why I'm telling you. Okay, so now that is our first, but we got to glue this bottom first. So I'm just checking here, and you want to make sure it's right in that corner because that's a mistake I made. I didn't make sure it's pushed right into the corner, and it was slightly like out, and I couldn't close it properly. Okay, so now that we have that one, now we're just gonna add, I'll just go across. So we're gonna add another layer of adhesive right there. I'm just gonna fold that over, and now that gets us our square. So there. So now you technically can be done and then gift this. But, you know, add one more layer. So now we need adhesive here. See how hard that is to flatten? It actually gets more difficult as you go along. And now this one is going to fall right here, right in front. So that is hiding our cube. And you're going to make sure you're even on both sides. This is where liquid glue would be ideal, but I already pulled out my surplus. There. So then we're going to flatten that. So if you're using liquid glue, make sure that that's nice and give it a few seconds to dry. There you go. So now that is a single fold, right? Like, or, you know, you got one panel and then another panel. But now we need to put our next cube. So our next cube is going to go here. So that is our last. So that's how you get your double pop-up, right? Because we only have one single now. Okay, so we're gonna add adhesive to the back. Doesn't matter, pick any side you want. There's no right or wrong. And then I'm gonna again repeat the process and just stick that right into the corner. Make sure you're even on both sides and then flatten it out. So there's your other one. Right? So now we need adhesive here. This is what makes it difficult. So I prefer to do one at a time. If you can double, by all means double, and then glue that down. See how thick it is already? It's super thick. So now you have your other cube, and then you got to make sure this is flush. So I'm a little off there. So I didn't flush it properly on the bottom. That's not good, but it'll still work. No one's gonna know. Okay, so now we add adhesive to this one. So this is a little harder. I'm gonna grab my liquid glue. Too much work. Add it right there. And this is our last panel. And that's gonna go on there, like so. I'm push that in. Make sure I'm even on both sides here. Yep. And then I'm gonna flush, push, and give that a second or two to dry. Okay. And now we have our double fun fold, our double pop-up, I guess. Fun fold with a double pop-up. So there we go. So there's our card. Oh, it's probably not fully dry yet. And so you can see it's kind of curved because I didn't go flush. So make sure you are flush. That's the brutal part there. That's my bad. But it still works. Look, it's still standing. And it's still standing. So we're okay. And now all that's left is to decorate, embellish. So I couldn't think of the word. Now, this is the spot where I would leave a message right here on the bottom. So this is usually 3 inches by 4 inches. So yesterday though, I noticed where's my ruler? We were slightly off. So, you know, everyone was, or not everyone, but someone mentioned that, oh, why is it not flush? And so I'm at 3.5. So I could go 3 1/4. Let me trim. So I pulled some lined paper from the Snippets designer series paper pack, and I thought that would be good. There's also one in Homemade Sweetness, which looks like lined paper as well. But I thought, oh, I'm gonna try it this way. So I'm gonna try and cut 3 1/4 first, and then go 4. And then if I have to trim it, I'll trim it. So we're going 4 because this is the inside. It's a layer. So I'm not using 4 1/4. And then this should fit nicely in here. And it does. Okay, so now that becomes, now I have those lines, so I can put here to Kathy, Happy Easter. Have a wonderful bunny day. Hope your day hop away. Happy Easter. I don't know. Whatever you want to put in there. And then this goes like so. Just on the inside. Can't see, getting lots of shadow because of the camera and the light. But there we go. Now I have a place to write. And then we can also decorate there. So we can use some of the stuff we didn't use or we had left over. So I'm going to put Happy Easter here. So let me grab a piece of scrap. And I'm going to grab Shy Shamrock. So good thing I have this ink spot. And I'm going to ink up my sentiment. Now on the end of the month, we also have you ever been to Eli? So at the end of the month, I'm having a card buffet event with Janet at her place, the Swallow's Nest. So beautiful there. Ooh, that's dark. That's deep. Holy. So brand new ink spot. So it's going to be really dark. So she's co-hosting with me a card buffet. Have you ever been to a card buffet? It's like a real buffet, except you're picking out cards instead of food. But we do get food. She brings in a caterer and gives us lunch. Oh, so good. So far, I have not been disappointed, but it's been delicious. Okay, so this is the old Stitches collection from 2020. Stitched rectangles, and it just fits perfectly here. I looked at doing a banner, but I didn't think that was necessary. So I'm just going to slap that onto my emboss and cut machine over here. It shifted. Hang on. It moved. Gotta make sure it's right. It shifted quite a lot, but I think I got it right now. Okay, hopefully that cuts out good. Otherwise they'll be like, ah! So, otherwise we're just stamping another one. It's just paper and ink, folks. Just paper and ink. Not a big deal. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to stick that right there. So I'm going to add adhesive again to the back. Or not. It's not coming out. There we go. And then I'm going to stick that in the center here. Or at least attempt to make it the center. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And then, so you can see now, we have all those tiers. Now, I can add more bling or decorate more, but I feel like there's so much pattern and brightness going on. I don't think we need much else. But if you have one that's slightly different, then by all means add it. Let's color this one again. So let's bring in I'm going to add a flower on the inside. And then I could just add some of the rest of the pieces to an envelope. So our 3 colors. The yellow, or as my kids used to say, lalo. Lalo. And then some pink. This one's pretty in pink. Use whatever pink you got. Okay. Oh no, there's no purple in here. So I'm just pulling out the colors that are in the designer series paper. And then add some blue. And then last but not least, the centers. So we'll just grab a different shade of brown. Okay. There you go. And we literally used our blends like they're markers. And again, I'm going to use some dimensionals. Look at that. It's like perfect 90 degrees from the top. Okay. Anyway, this is a really fun one. I think like last night when we did it, everybody really enjoyed themselves. And like I said, we used different paper or different, yes, we used different pattern like designer series paper, and we used different stamp sets. Oh, I should have took pictures. So I was like, oh. Or I should have made a kit for myself for every single one. And we're going to add that flower there. Okay, so there we go. It's done. So we have this one, and then I had this one. And then last night I got, like, I had each bag, like, everything cut and everything. So we didn't know who was going to get what. And then I ended up on the team that used homemade sweetness. So then I had double. So we have 2 homemade sweetness, and then one of the Easter Joy pack or Easter basket dies, Easter Joy paper. And that was fun. The Notes of Spring one we did too, which, let me see if I still have it in my envelope. So we used Notes of Spring and took this piece. This was our focal on the front for Notes of Spring. So that we had on the front instead. And then, let's see, we used Cutest Crew. So then we had a framed piece that went on the front, and then we did the Cutest Crew on the front with a sentiment. So anyway, they were very pretty, and then everyone's like, can we do more? And I'm like, well, since some people didn't show up, I have extra kits, so then they took the other ones. So we couldn't make those either. So anyway, lots of fun. So I hope you like that pop-up card, double pop-up card. Again, I just put the link in the comments from Lisa Curcio so you can follow along, like get all the measurements and everything again, rather than watching. Like she does a project sheet so that you could download. So this is her project sheet. So I downloaded that to get my measurements. And then she also walks you through all the cutting and everything. So thank you again for coming. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I don't know what the weather is going to be like, but don't forget to like, comment, or share. And if you place an order of $60 or more this week, I will send you a kit to create all the cards that we've created this week. So I just can't stamp, right? So just know that I can't stamp. So like for this, you'll have to do your own stamping, but I can definitely send you the cake. I can die cut all this, but you'll have to do your own. And same with this, I can't do that, or just a note, but you'll get all the bits and pieces for it. And same here, I'll just give you a piece of scrap white to do whatever you want. But you'll get all 5 of these in your kit. So it just takes me a couple days to kit. So if I just look on Sunday and see how many people placed an order, and then I start kitting, and it takes me a couple days to get that done. So thanks again. Have a wonderful weekend. It is super easy. It really is. And so it's just as long as you get that cube right. Enjoy, and we'll see you all next week. I won't be here tomorrow. I think I'll just post something because we have some personal commitments in the morning. So take care. Have a great day, and happy stamping.